your hosts, Joey, Gabe, and Angel.
Oh! What's up? This is Benched, and we are the Tovar Brothers.
Yes, sir.
For the second time.
I'm so excited. I'm so ready.
I'm excited today.
I'm very excited today.
Yeah.
We were amped out of our mind a couple days ago. That was like being literally shot out of a cannon. So much fun recording episode 1. How'd you guys feel about it?
I think the nerves are definitely a whole lot better this episode, where I feel even more confident about some of my takes.
I second that emotion, as someone once said. Who said that, Gabe?
Temptations.
Sorry.
Wow.
Eddie
Sorry.
Kendricks.
My bad.
It was just awesome seeing us on a podcast like Bench. Like that's kind of surreal to see. That was all the work that we've done in the offseason just to be at this point, just very fun. And we could talk football
Yeah.
with our brothers. That's what.
Had a good time. I think
I
my
love you,
favorite
man.
part was the last opening.
I
You
love
guys,
you.
what? Sorry, what happened?
I love you guys.
I love you too, man.
I just want to say that. I love you guys. That was awesome.
Getting real
I don't have that drop. You know what I'm saying? You know what drop I'm talking about.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Oh, no.
Can't say it. I'll do this.
God, I love that. There you go.
I love that. I love that.
That's good.
I think my favorite moment, and we'll go around and say this, my favorite moment was the last open. I literally opened, and I know what to say. I was just in the moment like, this is sweet.
I think it was just you taking in the moment.
I really
and
was. We were talking
that's
about that
why
earlier.
It's like super appropriate. Like, yeah, if you want to take like 30 seconds off, just do it. We're soaking up the moment. It was episode 1. We were hyped.
Had a good time. What was your favorite moment? Episode 1.
When it started, the adrenaline we had in our
Yeah.
bodies.
That we were moving.
Yeah.
Probably the most impactful moment for me was when Angel told us that he's not a Shark Week fan anymore.
That was that was sad.
That was kind of,
That was sad.
That kind of hurt a little bit. Just a little bit though. Just a little bit.
There's a lot of Shark Weeks.
But I just I'm saying like you don't watch anymore. Like your piece of your childhood is gone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many Shark Weeks, it's not really like a thing anymore.
It's still called Shark Week.
Some
It
people
still
live
is.
this way.
And also, I'm
Some people
terrified
live
of the
this
ocean,
way.
so I don't want to realize what's down there.
Well, then what's more perfect than watching the ocean on TV where you could stay away from it?
I don't want to feed those fears any more than I need to.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, whatever.
It is what it
You
is.
can't put a man in the ocean.
It is what
He
it is.
doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
No, episode 1 was so much fun. We had a great time. Thank you so much to all of you who listened, who liked the text, the direct messages, and across all platforms, really.
Yeah.
We had a lot of support, and thank you so much for that. We strive to get better, you know? We thank you that you give some time to this stupid show.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
Well,
I'll say it. We're going to get pretty stupid on the
Bunch
show.
of knuckleheads out here talking football.
Just a bunch of guys talking football. We're not really.
we're not even in the season yet.
We're not in the season yet.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned.
We're gonna have a good time. We'll promise you that.
Yeah.
It's not always gonna sound super professional, but we're gonna have a good time.
We never said that we were pros at this.
Yeah. This isn't a bait and switch. So don't get mad at us in the comments. Don't get mad at us, with an email. Like, you guys need to sharpen up. Well,
We're not ESPN, okay?
Yeah.
Guys, we bought microphones, some cameras, and some lights. Just take whatever you're given, all right? Just
I don't know who we're talking to right now.
I don't know who we're talking to either.
I'm looking at the camera.
We're
Who's
talking to our future haters, I guess, because we had a ton of supporters.
Yeah,
Let's
we had-
go ahead and focus on that.
They were
We had a lot of
so
people who
overwhelming.
were who had a good time watching our show. Hopefully you watch again.
Yeah.
We'll see how much you really liked us. To be honest, we'll see.
see.
We'll see.
I better see more.
I believe in
views.
them, though.
I better see some more views. I'm challenging the people that are supporting us.
Wow, I don't know if
Keep
that's
on supporting us. We love you guys, but I need you to do your part now.
We all have different marketing techniques, and that's not mine.
I'm going to attack the consumer.
I like it.
Love me or else.
On today's show, before we scare any more viewers away, on today's show we break down the AFC West. Very exciting.
This one's for you, Ange.
Yeah, Angel is a Broncos
This one's
fan,
for you, buddy.
so we touch his division now. A division, I'll get into this a little bit later, but the narrative is so much different than it was a year ago.
A lot different.
If you remember a year ago where this division was, it was insane. We won't talk about too much right now,
Yeah.
but we'll get into the AFC West. But first, let's get into some news here.
Let's do it.
I would love to. There's not much going on. There's not much news going on, but I'll tell you this: the running backs are pissed.
Yeah.
The running backs are happy, and they're not getting paid, and they're mad about it. And a lot of them had some stuff to say.
Yeah.
Let me read you a couple of some of the NFL's best, most talented guys and what they had to say. After Saquon Barkley didn't get his extension. Oh, I guess we should probably get some context, huh?
Yeah.
The running backs dominated the headlines when it came to the franchise tag deadline,
Yeah.
which means, Angel, explain it to us.
The tag deadline?
Yeah, what that means for these guys.
Oh, so they had up to Monday at noon our time to get a long-term deal done. If they didn't get that done prior to that date, they can't negotiate until they're tag is up, which is next year. So this is
Right.
the last time they have to sign a long-term contract.
So am I correct in saying they will either play on the tag or they will not play?
Yeah.
Okay. So the three headline guys were Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants, the New York Football Giants, Tony Pollard of the Dallas Cowboys, and who am I missing? There's one more.
The big one,
Jacobs.
right? Josh Jacobs.
Josh
Yeah,
Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs of the
Phenom.
Las Vegas Raiders. All three of those guys do not get a long-term extension done. Three of the best running backs or just overall players, as Christian McCaffrey said, in the NFL. Right after that, Saquon Barkley, kind of a cryptic tweet. He said, it is what it is. Oh,
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I don't know. See, I don't know how much locker room attitudes play into a team's success. But when one of your best players, if he does show up to camp or to the season, if his attitude is what it is, I'm here, just here so I won't get fined.
It just feels like
Not a great start.
Yeah, like you walk into a locker room, everyone here is valued except for that one position. And that position happens to be one of our best players.
Jonathan Taylor said, if you're good enough, they'll find you. If you work hard enough, you'll succeed. If you succeed, you boost the organization. And then it doesn't matter. You're a running back. Oh, do we have a violin?
No.
There's nothing better than multimillionaires complaining about not getting
Yeah,
more millions. Let's hold back Gabe for a second.
Okay.
I could feel the heat coming off.
Play the world's smallest violin.
Yeah, I could feel the heat coming off. Gabe. Let me get these tweets real quick. Najee Harris said, I agree with my running back brothers around the NFL. History will show you that you need running backs to win. We set the tone every game, and we run through the walls for our team and lead in many ways. This notion that we deserve less is a joke. Oof. They're coming in strong. Derrick Henry, King Henry.
Yeah.
My guy doesn't say much.
I
Never.
don't think I've ever heard him
Doesn't
talk.
say
Never.
much. And you won't hear him now. It's a tweet, actually. He says, at this point, just take the running back position out of the game. Hey, give me my ball. I'm going home. He didn't really say that, but that's kind of what it sounds like. Yeah. The ones who want to be great and work as hard as they can give their all to the organization, and it just seems like it doesn't even matter. I'm with every running back that's fighting to get what they deserve. And lastly, Austin Eckler chimed in and said, this is the kind of trash that has artificially devalued one of the most important positions in the game. Everyone knows it's tough to win without a top running back, yet they act like we are discardable widgets.
Strong words.
Wow.
I mean, it's
Imagine
a
being
position,
called a discardable widget. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's a position that if you're bad, you can get a really good guy and he could carry your team for the bad years, and then when you're good, they'll kick you out.
Yeah.
That just seems like
So there's a lot of ways to go at this. Let's talk about this first. As a fan, because we are fans, we are not ex-players. As a fan, do you want your team giving Saquon, Josh Jacobs, or Tony Pollard a big long-term contract? Gabe?
Okay, so I kind of took what you said earlier, how you said, you look in the locker room and you kind of point to these guys. You're valuable, the left tackle, the quarterback, this and that. And then you kind of look to the running back and say, you're not as valuable. I got to disagree with you on that. The reason why is because the game is changing every year. It's not that they don't value guys like Derrick Henry. It's not that they don't value guys like Eckler. It has nothing to do with how good you are. And I get, the mindset of we're the running back. We set up the play action. We do all these things for you guys. I get that, but the game is constantly evolving. I mean, we see that with just life life. The writers right now they're stepping away from like the Hollywood scene because they want to do this. Well, we have AI. Like things always are going to be evolving. The running back position has been evolving for the last few years now.
Wait, are you afraid of AI?
I'm not. I welcome it.
Okay, I didn't.
I welcome it.
I was going to say, I walk off this set right now. I love AI. Sorry, go ahead.
The point is, though, is that like I get the frustration for not being paid, but at the same time, when you got the college system just producing so many guys that can do their job. I'm not saying do as good of a job, but I just feel like paying a running back $16 million a year right now, it's just a little crazy to me. It's just a little crazy to me because again, that money could go to another place, go to a left tackle, go to pass rusher, which I think is not far more important, but it is a very important spot. And again, you could get, teams have 3 backs on their squad now that all get not an equal amount of playing time, but they get a decent amount of playing time. So that's my take on it. I get the frustration, but I'm kind of on the side of the owners here and like the team saying, look, we just know that we love you. and we're happy that you're on a team, but we can't pay you this kind of money because we can go get somebody or like 2 or 3 guys that could probably do what you could do.
I mean, to that point, and I won't share my larger take. I'll go to Angel first. But to that point, the Eagles this offseason had a choice. Are you going to pay Miles Sanders, who's coming off a pretty good season? I think 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, something like that.
Yeah.
Or are you going to let him go? He got the biggest contract of any running back out there. Are you going to let him go? As a fan of the Eagles, I'm pretty impressed to see him go and get that money, and for less on a yearly basis, we have an entire room of running backs. That includes Rashad Penny, Kenny Gainwell, and DeAndre Swift. And so I think the main problem is you're too replaceable.
Yeah.
You're too replaceable,
Exactly.
and that's why you're not worth
Exactly.
it. What did you think?
I'll just stand up for the running backs. I think it's because the percentage of plays that run through them, that's probably why they're like, if half the play calls if it's 42% are run plays, why is that 42% of the offense not getting paid as much as the other percent? But like you said, it's a good point. It's always evolving. I would like running backs to get paid, but for my team, if you have a high-paying quarterback like Russell Wilson, can afford to pay a good running back. So it kind of depends on where you're at. That's why I said, like, if you're a bad team and you can only afford a good running back, sometimes you have to do that. But for good teams, you can't afford. Look at Joe Mixon. Took like a major pay cut just to stay with Burrow and with them. But yeah, I think it's just about these guys contributing so much to the offense and not getting paid equal amounts or shown the respect as the wideouts or the left tackles or the.
So I think the thing you need to add in there, though, like you said, 42% is what is like their workload.
Well, I'm saying like just.
Okay, so like,
example.
let's just say it is from 42%. When you have 3 backs on your team, you have to now split that 42% up into 3 ways. So I don't think it's 42% of the workload is going to one guy.
But some running backs carry.
Right. Some. But then at the same time, if you have that kind of guy, just know, oh man, if an owner says I don't have a star guy, well, I mean, hey, you're fine. You can still go get 2 or 3 guys that could do the workload of that guy.
There's a lot of. On the GM too for roster construction and build with this stuff.
I definitely think there's some greed involved. These GMs don't want to pay these guys. I get it. I get it.
Well, in a greedy industry, you got to be greedy or you won't last. Because the players, I hate using greed. You're going to go and you're going to get as much as you can. If you want to call that greed, if you want to call that being a go-getter, whatever you want to call it, everyone's trying to get theirs. Yeah. Everyone's trying to get a discount. Everyone's trying to get as much money as they can. Yeah. And so I don't know. I think if you could probably find a way to call everyone greedy. But
not to mention the rules have changed too, to where like running backs aren't as protected as like a wideout. Like the wideouts now go in the middle of the field because they know you can't hit me low, you can't hit me high, you can't do this.
Yeah.
A running back, it's like once you get that ball, or if you're just in there to pass block, it's those guys are free to kind of hit kind of like show you up, hit you up however they want to hit you. So my thing is you're more of a liability to get hurt. And that's kind of what I don't want to pay for with the money.
I feel like this turn was for kind of started when Gurley got that contract and the Rams just got massively screwed for years.
That was a big one.
I think that kind of is where stuff started to change. Where these guys, you think of Sean Alexander, the guy who got the Jamal Charles. I don't know if he got paid, but these running backs got big contracts and at one point in the NFL's history, and now they're just not getting paid. And my take is I kind of said it, you're just too replaceable.
Right.
If you really want to get mad, go get mad at the guy who's going to do your job for a fraction of the price for the team. Because that's the guy who's taking your job.
Yep. And like you said too, like Miles didn't go back to the Eagles, but he did go out and he did get his money. So I think if a star does leave, there probably is a market out there.
Yeah, and I think too, you might see next year running backs not play hardball in the offseason and go, if they get a decent contract, go and take it. Because now there's nothing out there. If some running back got cut today, if Joe Mixon ended up getting cut instead of restructuring, there's no money out there for him.
Yeah.
He would be right there with, you think of the guys still on the free agency list, legit running backs, Leonard Fournette, even Zeke still has some juice. These guys, they belong on the football field still. They can help a team win.
It's the money.
There's always someone who will do it much cheaper, and it's at a position where, I was thinking about it earlier, it's really maybe the one position on a football field that an elite athlete can step into right away and do well.
Right.
It's not, I don't want to say it's not a lot of skill, but just go be athletic and you can be a decent running back. Go be big and strong. Go be fast. Go do those athletic things, and you could probably make it. Wide receiver, you need ball skills, you need route running, like you need all that. Like You know, think of the defensive backfield,
The
how
fundamentals in it,
technical
yeah.
that is. The quarterback, obviously, you know, like it's not. They like to point to a respect thing, or I don't know if it's so much respect as it is just
It's business.
it's business. You're replaceable, and as a fan, it's hard sometimes because you see Miles Sanders go, you're like, oh God, I want him to stay, but I get it, and I want my team to be good, so I'd rather take this room full of running backs, super talented running backs, and go with them. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It should be interesting to see this play out throughout the offseason. They look like they're headed for a holdout. Pollard didn't sign his tag yet either, did he? I think he did.
Yeah, but yeah.
So Pollard will play in his, and he kind of didn't have a choice. He's
so.
coming off that injury.
Yeah, he broke his foot.
Yeah, so he didn't really have a choice as much as the other guys did. But we'll see how this goes. We'll see if Saquon and Josh Jacobs are holding out. I guess the only leverage they have is that those are both significant part of their offenses.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Let's get into now the divisional breakdown here, the kind of training camp preview. We're going to get to the AFC West. And like I said earlier, there is no division where the tone of the narrative has changed so much. You think of where they were last year, right?
The dream
Devontae
team.
Adams comes to the Raiders, right? Just massive pieces moving around. Tyreek Hill leaves the Chiefs. Are the Chiefs? Is this a vulnerable Chiefs team now?
Russell Wilson comes to Denver.
Khalil Mack goes to the Chargers,
That was
right?
last year, right?
Herbert's about to, Herbert's going to take another step. This young up and coming quarterback, Derek Carr, he has some weapons now. He has his boy from college now, Devontae Adams, on his team. This division is going to run the NFL for the next 10 years. Wah, wah, wah.
You could put a lot of that on my quarterback, Russell Wilson, not living up, and also on the Raiders not quite living up. But the Chiefs did their thing.
To be fair, I was going to say AFC West did win it all. So I guess that kind of balances out.
Thank God for Patrick Mahomes.
I think we learned our lesson last year.
We did.
In doubting Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. That tandem,
Yeah.
I think even when Kelsey moves on, you don't doubt them.
It's just Kobe, Shaq, Pippen,
that tandem's going to make
Jordan.
it work no matter what.
For sure.
So let's get into this first. We're going to start with the Chargers, not the San Diego Chargers. I know I'll say that a couple times, but I mean the Los Angeles Chargers. And let me just ask you this real quick. As residents of Los Angeles, which we are, don't you forget the Chargers are here?
I feel like they're just ran out of room in LA.
I like them.
I don't understand why you would leave San Diego.
Well, that was a big money issue. That was who's going to build us a stadium issue.
Yeah. That was the city of San Diego not wanting to pay up for a new stadium.
But just knowing that the Rams' history with the city of Los Angeles County, why would you want to come compete with that?
Well, money wise, just having your franchise in Los Angeles as opposed to San Diego is just a good business move.
Yeah.
You're worth much more. The Rams, business wise, going from St. Louis to Los Angeles,
huge.
It's just it's a good business decision. I feel bad for the people of San Diego, the diehard fans. I feel bad for the people of LA who don't really want them. They have kind of a Clippers feel in LA sometimes. But I like the team. I like I like Herbert. Obviously I'm a Ducks fan, so I followed him since then. I like some of their team, but anyway, they finished last year 10-7. Not at all what we expected. We expected Herbert to join the elite of this division and start going toe to toe with guys like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and the other AFC quarterbacks. Not too many additions.
No,
hardly none.
Eric Kendrick is a nice add to that defense. Gets a veteran in the middle. But yeah, I think their team. I think they're just relying on. We're already talented enough. Let's add a few guys and just build this core, build this chemistry up.
Can I ask you a question? Does Kellen Moore his addition to what you just said? How they believe in their squad is Kellen Moore?
I was going to say that is the single biggest addition they made
for sure.
That
Kellen
is the biggest addition.
Which, by the way, what are the Cowboys thinking? Cowboys offense has been a top offense for years, and we say, all right, Kellen Moore, McCarthy.
Let's get you out.
McCarthy waddles into a meeting and says, hey. I think it's Kellen Moore's fault. I don't know if it was that or Kellen Moore saying it's time for me to move on. I can go hook up with this young quarterback and see where my career can really go. But
good for Kellen Moore. Though.
Not a great move for the Cowboys.
No, not a great move for the Cowboys.
And very exciting for the Chargers, and I think probably a godsend for Staley.
Yeah. Herbert only had 25 touchdowns to 10 picks. That's not fantastic.
It's not bad, but
it's not bad. It's not what you thought he would be. You want him to enter that Mahomes, Josh Allen, Burrow kind of realm, and he didn't. So maybe they're thinking this might push him to that kind of tier. I've always liked Herbert from the first game that he played where that poor Tyrod Taylor got injected with the wrong thing, and then
like minutes before the game.
it was
or
just
something?
crazy. And then all of a sudden he comes in and tears it up, and you see him physically, and you see him on the field, and you're like, this guy has it.
Yeah.
He's got the arm. He's got he and you kind of like he's like kind of a cool, calm guy. I'm a big fan of Herbert. And I love what Kellen Moore for him. I just think that's gonna elevate him.
Do you think more it can be the thing
Yeah.
that kind of like 35 and
sure.
8 or something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Herbert?
In addition to that, his weapons missed some time last year.
Well, they always miss time.
That has to be part of the equation of them not doing too much this offseason. Keenan Allen played 10 games. I think
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams missed like 6 or 7 games.
Mike Williams always
Well,
missing.
he has to. It's in his contract. He has to get hurt half the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. That's just
I believed you for like a moment. Like I never heard of something like that before.
no.
he's being sarcastic. He obviously doesn't have to get hurt. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Not a lot of additions. I think they're probably banking on some guys coming back healthy.
Yeah.
Let's get into the fantasy aspect here. Buy or sell. Quickly, Ainge, who you buying?
You know what's crazy is that whenever I see fantasy football ads, always like Justin Jefferson or Ja'Marr Chase or Jalen Hurts. You never see Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Like in the last 2 years, he's had 25 rushing touchdowns and 13 receiving. In the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I don't never see him on fantasy. Don't overthink it. When say you want to get a good running back, middle of the first, say, McCaffrey left. Eckler would very well could finish top, RB1. Don't overthink it. He's somehow underrated for finishing all those touchdowns. That's crazy to me.
Have you seen Homeboy in the weight room?
No.
Jesus.
Really?
Oh my
probably-
God. You never seen that?
No, I haven't.
He's
seen
doing all sorts. You look him in the face and you think he's an athletic guy.
Well, he's not that big, right? Like
he might be pound the strongest guy in the NFL. He is
wow.
amazing.
it. Also, he was undrafted.
in the weight room. Yeah, undrafted guy.
Crazy. Good for him.
It's a great story. Kind of a weird name. Remember when he was coming up? His name.
Yeah.
Who was the running back in front of him before him?
Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
Remember thinking like, nah, Eckler's not going to take Melvin Gordon. Like Melvin Gordon is a perfect running back name.
Yeah.
This guy named Austin Eckler,
Yeah.
awesome excellence,
Yeah.
is not going to take his job.
Yeah, and he's only 28, so he's got about one more year. Draft him if you're in a redraft league. I think this year just get him in, enjoy the ride. He's gonna always produce for you.
Austin Eckler, easy buy. Gabe, who's your buy?
he's the same guy as well. I think he's he's always overlooked. No one ever pays attention. I'm glad you had those stats because I didn't. But those stats in the last 2 years, you said
Wild.
25?
25 rushing and 13 receiving.
No one ever talks about that. And
Crazy.
I kind of focus more on the Kellen Moore thing and kind of looking at the history of his offense with the running backs. Always, like fantasy wise, they tend to eat, and I think Eckler can even go even beyond what he's doing, which is already super impressive.
Yeah, Eckler will be a top 5
For sure.
fantasy running back for
Mark,
sure. You will
Book it.
draft him anywhere you want. You're not going to regret it.
Yeah.
My buy is I'm gonna get a little more. I would obviously love Eckler. My buy is gonna be Quentin Johnson, the rookie from TCU. Here's why. Do you remember how many games? Do you remember scrambling for Josh Palmer on the waiver wire last year? Why? Because these guys are missing. They're missing time.
Or Jalen
Guyton scrambling for these guys, like because you can get Herbert and now Kellen Moore's number 1 receiver. Look at what CeeDee Lamb did in Dallas.
Yeah.
And look at what a healthy Keenan Allen can do with Herbert. And you think I can get so if you draft draft Quentin Johnson, which you're going to get way later in the draft, you could end up with a large part of the season having the Chargers' number 1 receiver.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm buying Quentin Johnson. I'll get the party started on selling and then we'll go back around. I'm selling Keenan Allen. Yep. I love Keenan Allen. I love a good route runner. I don't know why. My fantasy team is always just full of route runners. I have Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin.
Just pros.
I just love go run a nice out route and I'll draft you.
And shut up about it.
I'm selling Keenan Allen. He's 31 years old now. He's been in the league 11 years.
It feels like
11 years.
It feels like
like I said, last year he played 10 games. Guys you can get around the same area as Keenan Allen. Tell me if you'd rather have him. Would you rather have Keenan Allen or Chris Olave?
Chris Olave.
Easy choice. Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf.
DK.
Keenan Allen or Deebo Samuel.
Debo.
I think that one's pretty tough.
Yeah.
That was pretty tough.
I'd go Deebo. Keenan or Amari Cooper.
I would go Keenan there. Just because of the Watson element to that.
Keenan or I think that's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think some guys just right in the same area you'd rather have than Keenan Allen.
It's 50-50 with pretty much, yeah.
Who are your sells?
Keenan Allen. It's the same. It's the same exact thing.
We like you though, man. Like we're not picking on you.
I don't know. We kind of hate.
But you know, I mean, you kind of touched on it. Like you know, he's been in the league for 11 years now. He's been a star, fantasy wise.
Your back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
That's not right.
Spinal.
I don't think that's fair.
That's not right.
He's put in so much
Poor
work into
guy.
this league. He's been a top 5 guy. Like I'm sure. Like
He probably looks across the room and think, I'm in the same locker room as Mike Williams, and I'm the injury guy.
yeah.
That's not right.
but I mean, you know, hey, if you want to win your league, you got to have healthy guys. And
Angel, who's your-
definitely is a cut.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Who's your sell?
Mike Williams, because they literally drafted his a little clone of him, Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
He just misses too much. You're gonna draft him as your wideout too. That's already too much pressure on him.
Yeah.
You have to flex only. Don't think of him a wideout too. He's gonna disappoint. You have to think of him. This is a luxury pick or a luxury, you know, whatever. If you trade for him after the draft,
Yeah.
luxury. Don't rely on him.
Yeah, I think Mike Williams is the classic. He's sexy enough where you want him. Especially, remember, was that last year he had that run to start the season?
Yeah,
Or was that 2 years ago?
that was 2 years ago.
Remember that run to start the season where we think, holy crap, we missed the breakout of
Finally.
Mike Williams.
Yeah.
We all took a shot at this freaking guy, and we all missed his breakout. And it didn't last, obviously.
We're still waiting.
But just, I mean, he's nice to have because he can have those runs where it's like, God, I have a top 10 receiver here.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he's a prime candidate to screw you in the playoffs.
That's why he's so hard to trade for because you just never know. Like
Right.
You usually went five weeks in a row. You know,
Yeah.
top guy. And then
Yeah, well, we're up against it here, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll jump into these remaining 3 teams, starting with the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders.
always fun to talk about.
Everyone
I
loves
always
to.
think John Madden when I hear Raiders.
Oh yeah, wait, the Raiders. Who? What's that from?
That's some NFL films. That's
Yeah,
all I
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
It.
God, I need more of that in my life.
Dave,
I need some NFL films constantly
Frank,
in a loop.
Frank, the voiceover, the famous voiceover.
Frank Caliendo.
No, not Frank Caliendo.
No.
The famous voice. What's the guy for NFL
I like Frank
films?
Caliendo though.
It's gonna kill me.
The NFL films guy. You know exactly who I'm talking about. He passed away a couple years ago.
Is that guy?
Yeah, we don't know.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
I'm not
really
saying.
is in the Hall of Fame.
We just don't know who he is. Anyways, let's get to a break, and we'll get back and cover the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
And we are back with the Las Vegas Raiders. Before we get to them, maybe the coolest thing that happened in Las Vegas this offseason. Do you see that thing that turns into like figures, 3D figures, the eye thing?
SpongeBob.
What's that
Did you
called?
See that one?
The
call, like, the
sphere or
Las
something like
Vegas
that.
globe
That's
or something?
That's awesome.
That thing's wild.
Yeah, that's
That
great.
thing's wild. So if you ever go to Las Vegas and
I don't know what it's called.
this team isn't very good, just go see the eye thing. Save your trip.
Oh, pretty
Las
cool.
Vegas Raiders. Going into last season, Devontae Adams comes to town, like we said.
Yeah.
We didn't know this breakout of Josh Jacobs was coming,
No.
but he breaks out. Derek Carr signs kind of an extension, but we all kind of knew it was kind of fugazi, like that's not really an extension. And now here we are a year later, and it's all changed.
Yeah, it's all
Derek Carr
Completely.
is out of town. In comes Jimmy G's foot. Talk about injury prone.
You know,
Okay, we'll get into Jimmy G. Jimmy G's in town, but don't worry, have no fear. If he goes down, Brian Hoyer now in town.
The Raiders.
They do bring in Jacoby Myers. I think is a nice compliment to Devontae Adams, who's, bless his soul, is still there.
and Dorsett.
They brought in
Colts.
Dorsett. He's still bouncing around the league.
Some tight ends too, no?
Who they bring?
Then they drafted a tight end.
Oh, they drafted. Okay.
Yeah, rookie tight ends. No,
Michael
thank you. Oh, Michael Mayer. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the Notre Dame guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they pick up like O.J. Howard and
Yeah, if you want to break that news, go ahead.
O.J.
Yeah, I don't know.
Howard, Austin Hooper? Like
Pass.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well,
like,
what's
I mean,
the-
it's at least something.
Diarrhea.
Yeah.
They're adding.
I guess so. Yeah.
Freaking Josh.
Josh McDaniels putting his stamp on this team. Not sure what that's a stamp of, but so far it's a big pile of poop.
Yeah.
Not impressed at all myself. I'll get this started. Not impressed with this offseason. And it sucks because I like Devontae Adams. I love me some Max Crosby. But
Crosby also a great story too. Here we have time.
Yeah,
Go look up his.
yeah.
Go look up his background.
just a
story.
good guy.
I actually don't
Yeah.
know his story at all, so I'm
No,
very
He
much
struggled with
looking forward to
addiction, and yeah, look it up.
Really?
It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
story.
Great.
sure.
It's a great story.
I hate to see some of these guys go through this because some of my favorite players are on the Raiders.
Yeah.
I just don't know what Josh Daniels is doing. I get the Derek Carr thing. Eventually had to move on, but to not replace him with someone a little bit more reliable than Jimmy Garoppolo. And listen, I get it. He got to a Super Bowl. I get it. Hasn't been that guy in a couple years.
Yeah.
Hasn't been that guy in a couple years. I mean, where are you at in the Raiders?
Part of me wanted them. They had the number 7 pick. I wanted them to trade up for one of these quarterbacks in the draft. They were one of those teams where, at the time, I don't think they signed Jimmy G. So they're like, oh, this is a team where I think at the time Levis was kind of projected, to like go there. Richardson, obviously, they didn't know who was going to go number 4, but he was kind of like rumored around there. I would have been, if I was a Raider fan, I'd be more excited if they were drafted a young quarterback and then signed Jimmy G. At least you have like a plan. Right now, I just feel like to sign Jimmy G, he'll be okay, and we'll be okay. I don't think okay can make it out of the AFC West.
Not a chance. You're not going toe to toe with Mahomes, Herbert, and Russell Wilson. We'll see, but Mahomes and Herbert. You're not making out a division with Jimmy Garoppolo, even at his best. I don't think
he is a winner, but
still, I can't see that working. Let me ask you this question: are we seeing? Like, if you're a Raiders fan, honestly, and I get it, I don't want to make fun of the Raiders. I wish they were better. I wish they had a better outlook. I wish I had a better outlook on them. But if you're a Raider fan, are you thinking, like, this is the beginning of something special? Or are you thinking, this is the beginning of the end for Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas?
That's the beginning of the end.
Doesn't it feel more like that?
I mean, when you bring in guys like Hooper and, Jimmy G and these guys,
Don't forget O.J. Howard.
Yeah, Gabe was
O.J. Howard.
Big O.J. Howard guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy G, he had Debo, you got Christian McCaffrey, and he's pretty much giving the same thing with Jacobs, and that's even if Jacobs comes back.
God, we didn't talk about that. Yeah.
You have Devontae, so it's like it's not like Jim. We've seen how high Jimmy G can go. This season, they're trending 7 and 10.
I don't think they have a chance to win this division. I think they have a chance at the wild card.
I feel like they're just a team that's like they want to stay relevant, so they just get guys to make splashes. But as a fan, I'd be like, can we just make a team that could win, not just a team that's relevant?
Could it be that they're going for the? Isn't the quarterback class in next year supposed to be a really good?
They wouldn't have signed Jimmy G if they were going for.
What was his contract?
Caleb Williams. He signed for 3 years, $72 million, 45 guaranteed.
They
but
committed then.
Part of that contract,
you could still draft a guy, I guess, but yeah.
Part of that contract is if Jimmy G doesn't come back healthy, if he can't pass a physical, they can void the whole contract.
Well, that was a late change.
Yeah.
Jimmy G shows up to camp and typical Jimmy G hasn't answered anyone's text off season. Says, "Hey guys, by the way, might not be able to play this year."
He's in Vegas. He got all that money. I know exactly where Jimmy G is.
Jimmy G, he's the kind of guy like you're just done being pissed off at him. You're just like you shake your head like, dude, what are you doing?
And that's just like the Raiders. What are you doing? Here's $72 million.
Yeah, I mean.
Thanks.
I don't know. We'll see. Let's get into the fantasy outlook with them. Let's get a little grim. My buy, and I'll start this one, is Josh Jacobs. I love the guy. I think now he's pissed off. Now he knows he has one more shot at a big contract next year, or else I don't think it happens for him. So he has to go off again last year. I wish he got rewarded for what he did. I'm sorry, he has to go off again this year. I wish he would have got rewarded for what he did last year. He gets a franchise tag, which if you look up what the number is on that, the running back franchise tag,
around $10 million.
$10 million. That's not nothing. That's a nice contract, but still not the long-term security that understandably he's looking for. I think he comes back. He's kind of pissed, and I'm buying some Josh Jacobs. Also, they're just losing weapons. Darren Waller no longer in town. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Goodness.
Darren Waller's gone.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Get
the
outta here.
defense added some guys, but no one where you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, that'll stop the bleeding."
I do like their draft pick though, Tyree Wilson.
Yeah. The
Defensive end.
Yeah, pass rusher to maybe go with Max Crosby.
Yeah.
They've been looking for that guy last couple years.
But fantasy-wise, you're right, though, about Josh Jacobs.
Fantasy-wise, I'm going with Jacobs, and I'll just give you my sell as well. I'm selling Jacoby Myers. I don't think, and that's not because of Jacoby Myers. I like him. I don't think they're going to have a quarterback behind center who's going to be able to support Devontae Adams, and you got to feed that beast. And another receiver, I don't see it happening. Last year, you got some flashes from Nelson Aguilar, and I think the year before Renfro. The year before, is Renfro healthy?
Yeah, I think so. He fell off hard when he got paid. That's kind of scary. If you're
I was actually hoping the Eagles traded for him. I think he needs to get out of Oakland or out of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see Myers having an impact here fantasy wise behind those guys. Gabe, who's your buy and sell?
I'm gonna buy Jacobs here, Jacobs or Devontae, because I just feel like outside of those two guys, where is your offense?
Yeah.
And if especially if the holdout with him actually goes into the season, I mean, not that Devontae is already going to be bought in the high first round, but like spend all your money on Devontae.
Let me ask you
It's
this.
about to go straight to him.
If you have pick number 4, are you taking Josh Jacobs?
Is
How high are you comfortable taking him?
Is Devontae still available?
In the first round.
I'm saying in the first round of a fantasy draft. Are you taking Josh Jacobs? And now we're not talking dynasty. We're talking year to year here. Are you taking Josh Jacobs as
Yes.
high as 4? Yeah?
Yeah.
You're comfortable with that?
Well, I mean,
If you would have made that decision last year, you would have been right.
you always have these these contract years, which you touched on, where these guys just go off, and now this is like an extra year for him, where he's going to be even more pissed off. So I don't want to echo you, but I am going to echo you because there is so much truth to that.
Who's your sell?
Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Jimmy G.
You're here.
You know, he's going to come in. I said it earlier. I think Debo, Christian McCaffrey, these are fantasy studs. Yes, he was the he was the quarterback in that whole thing, but don't be fooled by him with Devontae. People are going to say, "Oh, he has Devontae Adams now. He had Debo. He has a good running back behind him. He had Christian McCaffrey." I'm not buying Jimmy G at all this year.
He still did quarterback 2 numbers though. He wasn't bad. You weren't drafting to be a QB1.
I mean, so you're talking about QB1. Obviously, most people don't play in a 2 quarterback.
So yeah.
If you're playing in a 2 quarterback, as we do you want Jimmy G as a QB2? I'll say I don't.
I wouldn't mind Jimmy G as my QB.
Well, name me some guys that would be his
I don't know.
competition.
I don't know who
Like
his competition
Jared
would be.
Goff, like we
Yeah,
talked about
Goff,
Jared Goff in the last
Cousins,
episode.
Stafford.
I'll take all 3 of those guys. Before
Absolutely, absolutely. Geno Smith.
I'll take Geno Smith.
I'll take all those guys. I'll even take Purdy. You know where he left.
Yeah.
I'll take Purdy. I'll take Darnold. If Darnold's a starter there, are you taking Darnold in
I don't
San
want
Fran?
Purdy on my team.
Don't ever say Sam Darnold again.
I'm saying if he's the quarterback of the 49ers, I want him. Those guys are going to score.
Oh yeah. That 49ers offense, it's
Yeah.
always moving.
Bunch of yak guys.
But like, you know what I'm saying though? Like, there's
Yeah, I got
guys
you.
before him that I would take.
I see him as one of those guys who's going to be on your wire, and he'll be on a million.
He's gonna
teams.
be passed on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's gonna be on team to team.
Who's your buy sell Ainge?
I feel like this year you can get Devontae Adams. He's my buy at a discount because he's 31. He's not really sexy anymore. And like you guys said, a lot of you guys are having the same conversations as everyone else. Like, oh, we have Jimmy G.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so you might get him maybe in the 3rd, 4th, 5th even, and kind of just sneak away with him. And I think he proved last year he could do it with any quarterback. He did it with Jarrett Stidham. He produced very well with him. I think you get him at a discount. I think he could be a wideout 1.
That's a good point.
5th round. So
Well, we'll see what happens there in Las Vegas. Might be soon joined by the Athletics. They might go to Vegas soon as well. So
that'd be great.
They better. The fans are better.
Sorry,
that's
Oakland.
another thing not to do in Vegas is go see the Athletics play.
Yeah.
Moving on to Angels, Denver Broncos.
Finally.
Now, I have a special connection to the Broncos because you remember we went to their training camp.
Yeah.
We saw the sheriff in action,
That
right?
was the year they won
And they won it that year. Yep.
And they won it that year. So call me a good luck charm. I wouldn't, but I was also at the 2017 draft in Philadelphia when they won. So
I think we both were.
We both were there.
Are good look charms.
Denver Broncos finished last year.
I was like, I'm trying to think of something that I am, but I don't have anything.
I am not good luck.
I'm not good luck.
Denver Broncos. Well, what happened to the Packers? You became an owner.
We traded Aaron Rodgers.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, let's not bring that up.
Don't go to the Eagles camp, please.
Yeah, got you.
Broncos finished 5-12. Not at all. I think as far as the crash and burn, they were so much worse than everyone thought they would be. It doesn't get worse than the Broncos.
I think it's the lowest moment as a Bronco fan was when I was watching the game and the crowd was counting down the play clock because we've had so many delayed games. They were literally counting down.
Homeboy,
5,
the head coach.
4.
Who was he?
Nathaniel Hackett.
That was my
let me
boy.
just I've been waiting a long time.
Broncos product. I'm sorry, Packers product.
Go ahead, buddy.
If
Groomed in Green Bay.
If I ever seen Nathaniel Hackett in real life, it's
on site.
on site.
It's on site.
It's on. I'm going to jail that night. Let's do it.
Well,
I got the bail money too, man.
The
I got
way
the bail money.
Look, it wasn't his fault. I think last year was they got Hackett.
on crack?
he might have been on
Might
crack.
have been on crack.
I think we need to give that point maybe some. Does he have an addiction problem?
And they'll never admit it, but they got him to get Aaron Rodgers. Okay, they got Hackett before Aaron Rodgers had signed, right? Then Aaron Rodgers signs the two-year extension.
Yeah.
Then they get Russell Wilson minutes after. Okay, They could say, "Oh, Russell Wilson it was Aaron Rodgers."
Yeah.
And it just happened to be Hackett and Russell Wilson. They just didn't mesh. I mean, I pretty harsh on him, but he's just not a head coach. He probably will do great, in New York. Just don't ever come back to Denver.
If you ever decide to fight Hackett, I was going to say, be sure to be able to be ready to fight Aaron Rodgers too, because they seem like
he'll be right behind him.
He's probably holding Aaron Rodgers' pocket.
Actually, if you bring me with you,
Hackett is holding the pocket
is
of
holding
Aaron Rodgers'
pocket.
if you bring me with you, I got some words for Aaron Rodgers too.
Oh yeah, you guys can tag team that because you got to think
There
it's
you
Aaron
go.
Rodgers. You hate Hackett. They don't know who you are, but you can at least fight them with some fire.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, well, besides hating last year's coach, and that's a great segue, they actually got a new coach.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard about that. Sean Payton, Mr. Old School Football himself, has come to the Denver Broncos.
Congrats,
Welcome, Sean.
buddy.
Welcome,
Congrats.
Sean.
That's freaking exciting, man.
Yeah.
They traded for a head coach.
A first-round pick.
That Walmart money is doing some work.
Freaking love Walmart money, man.
Yeah.
Go shop at your local Walmart, guys.
Yeah.
Support the Broncos.
It's going right in Sean
That
Payton's
goes
pocket.
right in Sean Payton's pocket.
Sean Payton comes to town. Of course, he sat the year out, was mediocre on TV, and now is back as a head coach.
Yeah.
Added some names here. I'll let you dive into this a little bit, but they added Samaje Perine, who I think should not be forgotten, especially fantasy football wise. He's not my buy, but I will be looking to get myself some Samaje Perine for sure.
For sure.
They bring in some offensive linemen, which they desperately needed.
Yeah.
Mike McGlinchey and Ben Powers, and then defensively they bring in Zach Allen, and then they way overpay a special teams linebacker. It was what's his name? Singletary? Yeah, Singleton. Just a crazy, obligatory crazy long hair white guy.
They spent $241 million this offseason.
They spent some money. Sean said, "Listen, I'm coming to Denver, Mr. Walmart, but open up the wallet, young man."
Let me explain why. Okay,
Here we
the
go.
Russell Wilson pick gave up a lot. The Russell Wilson trade gave up a lot of picks. We had no draft picks. We had five picks this year, so we had to make up for it with signing guys 1 year. But yeah, I mean, I'm on board with if we're a bad team, let's fix it. How can we fix it? Do we have money? Let's put money towards it. Not saying it always works, but it's a nice step. As a Bronco fan, I'm very encouraged.
Do you know off the top of your head? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
Did you know off the top of your head what kind of draft capital they have next year?
They have a first.
Are
round
they
pick.
in a position to replace Russell Wilson if he
They have a first round pick.
poops his diaper again?
The only pick they don't have next year is their second. They have every other pick. They have a first and 2/3, and then the regular.
Okay, gut feeling right now. Is Russell Wilson the quarterback of the Denver Broncos next year?
I think yes, and just for pure money, I think the dead money's still high next year. I think in 2 years you can get off it. Okay, but no, I think Sean Payton's gonna come here like, hey Russell, let's dial it down. Okay, let's just do simple offense. We invest in the offensive line. Let's run the ball.
Yeah.
We got P. Ryan. We have Javonte Williams coming off injury, but still, let's run the ball, play action. Okay, let's not put too much on him.
Let's get into that. Javonte Williams comes off the ACL, jacked up his knee.
Yeah.
He's back week 1, right?
Well, let's get into that. Me and Angel have talked about this. I pray to God they don't rush this kid.
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton, yeah.
Literally just said, I would tell you that we expect him to be ready for the start of training camp.
Oh wow.
Well, he was doing off the field work during OTAs. He was doing some light jogging, some light cutting.
What week was it when he actually did get hurt?
It was against the Jets. I forgot, but it was like not
First or
enough
second half?
time.
I mean,
It's
ballpark.
only 8 months ago, so that's
Okay.
not long enough.
I think 11 months is like the recommended.
Close to a year, right? Yeah.
Example is Ravens running back.
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins.
Came out too early, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that Sean Payton said that.
yeah.
I don't want to rush this kid. What were you going to say?
Totally forgot.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
Totally forgot what I was going to say. It was something. It was kind of going to what you were. Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Here we go.
Just like the Chargers, I thought that the Broncos did a fantastic job changing the coaching styles up. Kellen Moore, I think, can be a huge answer to what's going on there. I think Sean Payton can be the answer. I don't necessarily think that something was broken in Denver. I just think it was all on coaching. I don't think it's on Wilson. I don't think it's on any of those guys. I do believe in the Broncos. I just want to let you know that right now. I do believe in them. They just have a lot. They have a lot to explain. This coming they have to explain all that.
That's
crap
the
that happened
perfect
last
way
year.
to put it. If you ever see Russell Wilson, you have nothing to say except explain yourself.
Yeah. Like if he was standing, I'd be like, "Don't tell me what happened. Where did we go wrong?" Sean Payton can definitely be the answer there.
Yeah. And
What was the record last year again?
not good enough.
Their
That's
record
what it
was 5-12. That's 5 wins and 12 losses.
Is it believable that they could flip that this year?
No.
Really?
In 1 year, go from 5-12 to 12-5. I don't think so. I personally don't think Russell Wilson is the guy. I think you're gonna need to move on from him.
So it is a personnel thing for you then.
Namely one position, but yeah.
Namely one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say the lowest point. I went to the Broncos-Rams game Christmas Day. So pumped. Santa hat on, jersey on.
I remember this.
We left in the fourth quarter because they were up by they were losing by 40.
Yeah, you might have been a little intoxicated.
To Baker Mayfield and the Rams.
Yeah. Wait, is that Baker Mayfield's like big comeback win?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say.
No,
But it was on Christmas Day.
That was a
so
Monday
the
Night
world
Football
saw
game,
it.
huh?
That was like 2 days after
Yeah,
he
that
got
was
signed.
awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
They need to go get Baker Mayfield. That would be
Please,
awesome.
God, no.
Hey, how long before Taysom Hill is a Bronco? Sean Payton's boy. That's his little baby boy.
I wouldn't be mad at it though.
Yeah, it's a great.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
He's
Sean
making
Payton
so
likes
much
him.
money. What a
I just don't
weird
want that to
career.
happen. But good for him.
To kind of segue off, it was rock bottom, we believe, for the Broncos. Hopefully, God,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Even then, in fantasy football, my buy is Jerry Jeudy. At rock bottom, homeboy was wide receiver 18 in PPR formats. At rock bottom, I don't believe it can get any worse than it was last year. They simply could not move the ball. Russell Wilson was just who is that guy? Russell Wilson looked like Geno Smith before he got to Seattle to replace Russell Wilson.
Wow.
He just looked bad.
Yeah.
And I just don't think it gets any worse. I don't think Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson's not the guy who's going to take him to championships. I just don't believe it.
Wow.
I just don't think that's the guy. I don't think he's going to, especially in the AFC. What's happening in the AFC now, I don't know if he's going to be around enough to he's not going to outlast some of these younger guys, Josh Allen, Herbert, Lawrence, Mahomes, let alone take out some of the vets like Rodgers over now in New York. I don't think it's going to happen. But I do think Jerry Jeudy is going to continue to be just a steady, low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2. And where you're going to draft him, I think that's nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Go get some top running backs and grab Jerry Jeudy as your wide receiver 2.
Very sneaky at, later.
You see your
later
buy?
pick. No, my buy is, can I see my buy?
Yeah.
Can I say mine first? Can
Wow,
I
you're
say mine
getting,
first?
this is really dramatic.
I've always wanted to have the Broncos
This is so long.
running back. I remember drafting Monte Ball. I remember drafting, who was the Booker? Remember
Booker. Did you have Moreno?
I had all of them.
No Sean?
I've always wanted to have a good.
So which back do you want?
Javonte Williams.
Okay.
And here's
Yeah.
why: you draft him late, and you just say, around the playoffs, he could be a league winner. Okay, draft him and just let him work out this injury stuff. Let him have months. Let him hopefully don't play him a lot. I think he could be a league winner if you draft him late and wait on him, or you wait for a team to get out of the playoffs and you just trade
Yeah.
for him. That's my guy.
It's a big roll of the dice. It could win, but it could win you the league.
Yeah,
Or it could just be a total waste of pick. It all depends where you pick him.
don't overplay it
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Who's your buy, Gabe?
It's Russell. It has to be him. It's Wilson. But I'm buying the whole offense. Honestly, I think Jeudy only does better.
Freaking
I
love this
think
guy.
God, please.
I think Javonte. I don't care what Michael Scott says. I think Javonte's going to come back. I think Judy's going to be good. I think Russell Wilson's going to be good. I don't think, like I said earlier, I don't think it was a personnel.
How's this landing on you?
I just
Hey, Broncos
love
to
it.
the Super Bowl,
Let's
baby.
go, baby.
Imagine,
I'm not saying that.
but imagine out on the. Where's the Super Bowl this year?
Vegas.
Vegas?
No? I think so.
have
Super
zero
Bowl
idea.
comes
I don't know why
around.
I don't know why I said that.
Imagine out comes Sean Payton and Russell Wilson.
Heck yeah.
How big of a just screw you is that?
I got something to ask you though. What you said about because our takes on him are just night and day. So does he not get credit for what he did with the Seahawks?
What does that mean? Toward the Hall of Fame? Or
How-
toward 2023?
No, toward him just being able to be a good top 5 guy.
Here's
every
why I
year.
don't believe the turnaround's coming is because this is not a, oh my God, what happened to Russell Wilson? He was pretty bad the last year in Seattle as well.
You don't think that has anything to do with coaching?
He changed coaches when he moved
I'm
teams.
sorry. Not Seattle. I'm talking about the Broncos. Are you talking about his last year with
Seattle?
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see. I think he's going to be better. I just don't see the dramatic turnaround where he's 12-5 in the AFC West. You're winning several games against
Wait, you said he was bad the last year?
in Seattle.
25-6, 25 touchdowns to 6 picks.
Yeah, but you remember
he was hurt that year.
Yeah, do you remember why they got rid of him? Because they just weren't very good. Like he wasn't. He kind of built the stats, and like the stats obviously don't tell the whole story. He built the stats early in the year during the let Russ cook thing, and then that all just flamed out.
Well, he tore a ligament in his throwing arm finger, but whatever. It's in the past.
Yeah, he wasn't very good that year. That year, he wasn't. He was obviously his worst last year with the Broncos. It's a hard sell to say, but he's going to turn it around now because I think he'll be better, but I don't think he's. I just don't think he's the guy.
But fantasy wise,
I can't even say I like him.
Broncos are winning 10 games this year.
Thank you.
I'll give you that.
I'll take 10 games. Thank you.
Broncos are going to win at least 10 this year.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a Broncos fan,
I believe Russell Wilson. I believe in Judy. I honestly really don't have a sell here. I believe the Broncos
big
offense.
Bronco fan over here.
I believe that their talent is so young. I mean, you got Williams, you got Judy, all these guys. You know, it's just like you said. Like Judy, top 18. You said
He was wide receiver 18 in PPR.
he could only go up.
Yeah, I like Judy.
Only go up for your
Bye-bye.
Williams, you know, he has to battle back from his injury, but I mean, you know, we'll see how that works.
Here's
out.
the only argument I would make for Russell Wilson is that you're going to be able to get him so late.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to get him.
That's also another.
He's in
great
that
thing,
Javonte
too.
He might go undrafted.
And
Like,
then
Yeah.
no, he will.
In single quarterback leagues.
Yeah.
Oh, single quarter. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he might go undrafted.
I always forget that we play in the 2 quarterback league.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the only argument you can make is that you're gonna give him a massive discount.
Massive,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean I don't know. I guess who's your sell?
I really don't have a sell.
You don't have you're serious about that?
I'm being dead. I'm
But
being
my-
dead serious about that.
my
I
sell-
love what they got going on there.
I feel like Greg Dulcich is going to get a lot of heat, a lot of hype. But I mean, Albert O, I'm not going to act like I know how to say his last name. He's still a talented tight end, and Sean Payton likes to do a lot of 2 tight ends. I think they're both talented. I don't think you should buy in on one tight end for the Broncos. Everyone's going to say, "Oh, Sean Payton had the Jimmy G tight end." There's no Jimmy G on that roster. Just cool it on the tight end. I'm not buying these Bronco tight ends. I'll buy the wideouts, not these tight ends.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, man, I did not know you're that big of a Broncos fan.
Yeah, I was saving it.
That's some passion.
I
That's
really,
more passion than I saw about the Packers yesterday.
I really didn't want to.
Are you switching teams?
Oh, never.
This mug is a Packer.
I don't think it's very hard to argue against this.
I would tread lightly during the owners' meetings this year.
I'm sending a proxy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're actually going to take a break real quick because we've gone way longer than we should have. We're going to take a quick break,
Keep an eye on.
and then we're going to jump into the team that's still the king of the hill.
Super Bowl champs, baby.
That's
Patrick
hard to
Mahomes.
hate too.
Everything is just going his way.
Yeah.
At this point in his career, he looks
him.
good.
He's him.
And don't overlook the big man either.
Yeah.
Coach Andy Reid. I got some questions for you about him. We'll get into that too after a quick break.
Cool.
Okay, we are back. That was such a massive drink. So obnoxious.
Sorry.
We are back.
Sorry.
We are back.
What's in there?
It's my protein shake, actually.
That's a lot, man.
Oh, man. We are back with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we didn't want to rush this, so we went ahead and took a break, and now we're back. And King of the Hill, the big dog on campus, Patrick Mahomes, is still there, living his best life.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, of course, they win the Super Bowl. They beat my Eagles. They pay the field crew to make it slippery for the Eagles pass rushers, and they pay the refs to call a holding on James Bradbury in the final play. Just kidding. They won it fair and square. They deserve to win. And I love Andy Reid.
I was gonna let him
I
go with that.
love Andy Reid.
He's the most lovable coach in the NFL.
Love the guy. Met him
sure.
once. Met him once at Dodger Stadium. Big Dodgers fan.
Yeah, we
big
did.
LA guy.
Yeah, great.
But yeah, the Chiefs, they finished 14-3 and of course beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl 38-35. I forgot it was that high scoring because I tried not to think about that game.
Yeah.
I was just back. It was so fun to see those.
It was a fun Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it was
fun.
cool to see Jalen Hurts go toe-to-toe, but he is the big guy, and we weren't able to take him out. Now the Chiefs, as is per usual with a team that wins a Super Bowl, undergoes a lot of change.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy out. Where's he now? The
He's,
Commanders.
Commanders OC.
Yeah. Eric Bieniemy out. Left tackle Orlando Brown out.
Cincinnati.
Leading receiver Juju Smith-Schuster
He went to New England.
gone. Mecole Hardman
The Jets. Aaron
now at
Rodgers.
the Jets.
Yeah.
Frank Clark.
Denver.
These are big losses. And then finally, Juan Thornton here. I don't know where he is, but he's a safety.
Also, Andrew
safety.
Wiley, right tackle for them last year.
Also their right tackle.
Yeah.
So both tackles,
Yeah.
multiple defenders, their leading receiver out. They do bring in veteran tackles Jawan Taylor from the Jaguars and Donovan Smith from the Buccaneers.
Solid.
Solid additions. They did a really good job with their cap space this year. It was a masterclass.
They really know how to work this around the Mahomes contract now.
Yeah.
They kind of know where to put it.
Great
They're
work.
not a top-heavy team when it comes to all these. They're paying Mahomes. You got Kelsey, and other than that, they build all around that and they make it work.
Yeah, they bring in also, I don't want to overstate this, but I don't want to understate it, Richie James, receiver from the Giants, I think. I don't want to give you a spoiler, but I think there may be a person at this table who's going to have him as a fantasy buy.
Richie James.
Yeah, I won't spoil who that person is, but it's me. But they bring in Richie James.
Okay, maybe I didn't see a Richie James stat last year.
Oh, yeah. Well, good. I have that for you.
I'll wait for you.
Yeah. The big questions are really that I could think of is who's their wide receiver one, exactly what they were facing last year with Tyreek Hill gone. I don't want to get too much in. Well, it doesn't matter because it did matter. They did have a wide receiver one last year. It was Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah,
and he was big for them, especially during the Super Bowl against the Eagles. He was huge for them. Who's that guy now? They have a host of just guys who have all the potential in the world, but none of them have quite put it together.
I feel like they are just gonna do Mahomes is just great enough to make everyone better.
Yeah. And let's
have
be honest,
Kelsey.
Kelsey's the wide receiver.
Kelsey's wide out one.
He
Yeah,
is the wideout one.
I think it's more just like by game plan which wideout they decide to be
Yeah.
the number one that game.
And Mahomes is doing exactly what you would hope someone you give that kind of contract would do.
You give him $500 million.
Yeah, exactly. You hope that we're going to give you this money, but we're hoping that you can make masterpieces out of
Average
not
guys,
a lot.
yeah.
And look what he's done.
And he's doing it. So
Yeah.
I will never pick against Patrick Mahomes. He is a dog. He's an animal. Can't stand his wife or his brother, but
Brother's an idiot.
He's the man. Gabe does not like.
Well, he's in legal stuff right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
shocking.
Assault, actually. So.
yeah. You see that video?
Yeah.
God.
Wait, he struck somebody?
No, he would never strike it. He's not.
He-
No.
I was gonna say he doesn't have.
we don't want to make. This is a very serious situation.
Yeah.
He kissed a woman who did not want to be kissed.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I did see
Yeah.
that. I did see that.
So
Yeah.
yeah. It is what it is.
What an
But
idiot.
that should not. But this is why it sucks because Patrick Mahomes is such a lovable, for the most part,
Yeah.
clean guy, and he has this kind of baggage. But they were pretty much non-existent last year. If you noticed that, like you didn't
think-
see a lot from them.
The Mahomes team made it
Yeah.
like let's not make this about the fan. Let's make it
Yeah.
about
It
Patrick.
was about football last year.
Yeah.
Are you guys watching quarterback? Yeah.
You know, you mentioned on the last show, and I am interested, but
I haven't
still
seen it.
kinda
You got to
holding
watch
back
it.
on the
It's just
Netflix.
such Patrick Mahomes luck that
Yeah.
he's one of the main characters on the show. They follow, I think, Kirk Cousins, Mahomes, and Marcus Mariota. Poor guy.
Good for Marcus. Good for him.
Kirk Cousins had a hell of a season.
Yeah.
Mahomes won the Super Bowl, and Marcus lost his job to Desmond Ritter.
was
Yeah.
Marcus.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
But it's been cool to see Patrick Mahomes just work in that show, just what his day-to-day is like. And I don't think he gets enough credit for being the worker he is.
Yeah.
The guy is just he reminds me of just some of the great basketball players as far as like the work ethic you hear about, the Kobe's, the Michaels, stuff like that. Like he's just a football addict, and I love it.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. Now the question I have, I guess, about them is how long can him and Kelsey keep this up?
I think Kelsey's play style isn't based on he's not a superior athlete. I think he's just good at getting open. I think they could last another 2-3 years.
2-3 years. What do you
Yeah.
think?
2-3, yeah. I would say 4 years maybe, because again, Kelsey's play style is exactly that. He just gets open.
It's literally Brady and Gronk all over again.
Yeah,
You know what they're gonna do, and you just cannot.
and you
stop
can't
it.
stop it.
There's
Exactly.
nothing you
Yeah.
can do.
He's 33, so I give him till 35, 36.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's just nothing you can do.
Yeah,
He's just unguardable. Him and Mahomes are on the same page. Like
And he's a cool dude.
he's a cool guy. Has a
Yeah.
great podcast.
Him and his brother.
Him and his brother,
Great
Eagles
podcast.
legend.
Yeah.
It's just they're gonna dominate the league for a couple more years. I think the same thing.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: has Andy Reid surpassed Bill Belichick as the best quarterback in the NFL
Wait, what?
in this current moment? If you
best
went,
quarterback?
sorry,
quarterback?
sorry, he's not a quarterback.
he does
Wait,
have
wait,
that
wait,
video.
wait. Let's go with that. Who do you want as your quarterback, Andy Reid or Bill Belichick?
Oh, Belichick's probably cool under pressure. In
Heck
that pocket. Belichick.
Have you seen
go.
Reed's highlight tape?
He was like,
The
Wasn't
kicking thing when he's a
Wasn't
kid.
at the Coliseum? Hey, I'm taking that kid.
I'm taking
biggest kid on the
Belichick.
playground.
Why? Because he kicked it.
Belichick's probably a dog.
Imagine.
Dog in football.
Remember that Jalen Hurts sneak that was popular last year?
Oh,
Imagine running that with Andy
Just
Reid.
get Reed. Hey man, just lean. You know what I'm saying? Just lean forward.
I obviously meant the best coach in the NFL. Who do you think is if right now I have one season, who do you want
Between
coaching your
those two?
team between Andy Reid or Bill Belichick? Roster's
I mean,
the
you
same.
have to go with Reed. I mean,
I would take Belichick. I think still.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because-
but he's talking about like right now though, not.
I'm not talking like legacy. I'm talking about who is the best coach in the
right
NFL.
now.
I would still take Belichick. Probably.
Wow.
wow,
Okay,
okay.
that's fine. I mean, it's hard to argue against Bill
Yeah,
Belichick.
yeah.
You know, I just thought that was an interesting question. Andy
Yeah.
Reid, but he's on one. He's on the top
Yeah.
of the world right now.
Yeah.
The cheeseburger thing. He's just such a lovable guy.
He just embraces it. You know what? Like
Whose phone is that?
that's not mine.
You piece of crap.
That wasn't mine.
Who is
That was
it?
mine.
Now you
That
got to
was
read the
mine.
text.
That
Who
was
is it?
mine. That was mine.
Is it from a lady?
No, it's not.
And it went again.
It's a group chat. It's a group chat.
Let's not focus anymore. on this.
Jeez.
Sorry.
We'll take that super clean segue into the fantasy element, the buy-sell here of the Chiefs. Now, as good as they are, they're tough to pick. Once you get past Mahomes and Kelsey, who are going to take incredible assets to get. Those are both first-round picks. No, not Mahomes. Mahomes probably a little later in standard drafts. But Kelsey, you probably got to take him in the first round or very early second. Who do you want? Gabe, I'll go to you first. Who's your buy on the Kansas City Chiefs?
Do people still believe in Sky Moore?
Not this guy.
I'll say,
myself.
well, I
Joey?
will say this. No.
Okay.
I will say this. No.
Is that your guy?
You don't think that, Juju's gone? Who else is gone? The Jets guy.
Hardman.
Yeah, he's gone. You don't think that, going into year 2, they have plans for Sky Moore?
I think they had plans for him, but
Big,
I don't think.
giant question mark on who the main guy is going to be outside of Kelsey.
Can I answer your question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think they had plans for him the way they had plans for Hardman, the way they had plans for Tony, the way they had plans for Skymore last year. I think they had plans for all these guys. I don't think any of those plans say this is our new number 1 receiver.
Right, but that's exactly what a team has to do though. The alternative to that is say, well, let's not have a plan. Let's just kind of free ball it. And if he's next in line with Mahomes, just going deeper and deeper into his prime, give me Sky Moore.
Yeah?
Give me Sky Moore.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, take your pick. And if that Sky Moore's your pick, then good. He has as much chance as anyone else.
League winner. If
who's
that
he
ends up
competing
being
with
the
there?
guy.
Kadarius Tony.
And they
There's
drafted
Tony.
a second round wideout.
They drafted, was it Rashee Rice?
Richie Rice.
No.
Yeah. SMU.
Rashee Rice. My boy Richie James is now in town.
Man, I didn't. Where did this
Really?
come
Yeah,
from?
He had a good. That's my buy.
Did you have him in fantasy or
I
something?
didn't have him in fantasy, but he played on the Giants last year.
Okay.
My personal opinion on Daniel Jones is that he sucks.
Uh-huh.
And so I think Richie James now with Patrick Mahomes is going to be. I don't think Kadarius Toney is going to be consistent enough. I think he's going to be in and out too much. But
Yeah.
That's my sell.
if he stayed, yeah, okay. So I'd sell on him too probably.
Yeah.
Did I sell on him? Let me see. Did I sell on Kadarius Toney? I actually did. I sold on Tony. He's just. I think if he put it together, here I'll say this: I sell him, but it wouldn't surprise me if he is a star in this league by the end of the year. If
Richie
he-
James.
No,
no.
Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Tony.
Because
You
how
guys-
good he.
But you can't trust a guy that's just a loose cannon. Like
He's
that.
all over the place.
You
Sky
just
Moore.
can't.
I didn't see it. I didn't see enough last year, and I thought he had opportunity last year, and I just didn't see enough.
Yeah.
I think Richie James is going to be there every game. He's just a professional wide receiver who's going to be available, much like Juju Smith-Schuster.
I'm looking forward to putting James and my guy more than just seeing. I want to see how that plays out now. Now that we're
Want to put some money on it? God, what
We'll talk
an
later.
uninspiring bet. Richie James versus Sky Moore.
But it is.
Never mind. I'm not
interesting.
losing any money on that on
It
Richie
is
James.
super interesting though because there is a next man up, and it's if we both have these guys that are I've never heard of him or he didn't really do what he was supposed to do last year, that's a fun bet.
To that point, yeah,
That's a
someone
fun
will
bet.
step in and step up. Who's your buy?
My guy is Travis Kelsey. I think you could legitimately take him 1.1. The gap between him.
Whoa.
The gap between him and number 2 last year was 60 points. Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and call you on that one.
No.
1.1?
Look.
That's
Because
huge, man.
of that position in fantasy tight end, it's so hard if you don't have one of the big guys. If you had Kelsey last year, your advantage over every other team was very big.
You're not wrong.
And I think, like we said, we could wait on quarterback this year. You could wait on some of these running backs. Travis Kelce in the first round. That's not crazy to me. Just because of
1.1 though.
he's literally a top 5 wideout at tight end. So you're drafting a top 5 wideout who has Patrick Mahomes throwing to him, and you know the offense is going to be centered around him.
Yeah.
I'm
you can
I'm not
take.
saying. I'm
You
not
do
saying,
make a good point.
Yeah.
It is a good point.
But that's
hard for me.
And also, I'm buying him because people might. He's 33. I think he's like we said. He still has a couple years left. I'm on Kelce in the first round as quickly as you can get him. That advantage is just too much.
Yeah, I mean,
Too much.
there's a good points about the tight end position. The gap between tight end 1 and tight end 2 is just for the last couple of years,
Very big.
especially last year with Mark Andrews having the year he had.
Yeah.
it's just a huge
Advantage.
He would be I forgot what the stat was, but he would be like a top 5 receiver if he was a receiver.
One of the few tight ends you could
I was just
flex.
about to ask you that.
You could flex him a tight end and draft
It's
a
like
tight end.
it's like having AJ Brown at tight end.
Literally.
How are his numbers compared to like an AJ Brown?
Do you know on top of your head? I don't know. I
like-
know he's up there.
Like a Jamar Chase, like a Jefferson. Like how are his numbers with those guys?
I'm probably comparable. He had 1,400 yards last year.
I would say confidently he's a top 10 receiver if he played that position.
Yeah, you might.
You can draft
might be right
him.
then.
You
might
can
be
draft him, draft another tight end, and then flex Kelce.
Yeah.
And have Kelce and have a tight end and
This is
Kelce.
another,
Yeah, because you can
He's
get a
just a
tight end
weapon.
late to
Yeah.
an Njoku
Yeah.
or a Dulcich or someone.
Yeah.
Okay, who's your sell?
I'm not buying any of these wideouts. I mean, they all are going to have highlight tapes. You're going to hear a bunch of noise from camp. Tony's looking great. Sky Moore's looking great.
And the videos?
Rice is looking fantastic. There's going to be some Instagram clips of Tony doing, whatever.
Yeah.
So
No, thank you.
You're basically selling the wide receiver room.
I think it's a dart throw every week on who's going to go off. I think it depends on the matchup and on Andy Reid what he likes that week. I'm not. You pick one, you cross your fingers, and you just throw whatever.
I think it's safe to say all three of us just kind of agree we don't really like that wide receiver room.
Yeah, we don't love it. I think
You have a guy, I have a guy. Angel just is like whatever.
I think an underrated hit to that wide receiver team or crew or room that they took this offseason was McKinnon coming back, because Mahomes throws to that boy a lot.
Yeah.
And so you think like, well, maybe someone will emerge as just a quick, Mahomes going to pepper him with targets. Yeah. Well, that guy is Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. We'll see. Fantasy-wise, they're just fun. If you can get your hands on Mahomes or Kelce, obviously,
do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. Go pay the world for those guys. They're going to put you at an advantage every single week. But if you do have to go in the bargain bin, I think some of the options we gave today, they could work for you.
Yeah.
And that's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Definitely be available.
Are they going to win the Super Bowl again this year?
They might. I wouldn't be surprised.
Dang it.
They're in their prime.
They're going to be hard to beat.
And that defense gets better as the year goes on.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, you just trust them.
They're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, they wouldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise anyone if they're
Right there, back in the Super Bowl.
number 1 seed.
Yeah.
It's it's also a very hard place to come in and play, like Arrowhead. Like,
Historically.
Yeah, it's a very hard
historically.
place to come in.
Well, that's the AFC West. Fun division.
Fun division.
But the question at the end of the day is, are you good enough to beat Patrick Mahomes? The road to the Super Bowl in the AFC will run through Mahomes and Reid.
Yep.
For the
Probably
foreseeable
NFL,
future.
man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. Such a different conversation than it was a year ago, but still very interesting division. And that wraps up the AFC West. Not sure what division we're going to get into next show. We'll kind of bounce that around amongst ourselves, but we'll continue this in the next show and for the foreseeable future here. As we do wrap up, I do want to throw it out there for everyone. We will be.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like this deserves. We will be.
It's so long.
The Tovar brothers at. I didn't time that right, but we will be at Cowboys camp
Yeah.
in
Howdy,
Oxnard.
y'all.
I'm an Eagles fan. I'm debating or not. I'm wearing my Kelsey jersey. I feel like
I'm very excited about Cowboys camp.
it's going to be a lot of fun. Old man Jerry Jones is going to be there.
Yeah, Jerry.
Good to see that, man.
Yeah.
The cheerleaders.
I was going to say that. I am a married man, so I will not say that, but I know you guys are very excited for
Two
that.
bachelors right here, man.
Yeah, so
heck
maybe you guys meet a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Could interview one.
One thing goes to the next, and
I'm an owner.
You're marrying
I'm the owner of the
okay.
Dallas
I'm not
Cowboys.
sure. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You never know. That'd be a great movie.
Oil tycoon.
But we'll be at Cowboys camp. A lot of fun. Hopefully, we'll talk to a lot of fans. Maybe even meet some players. We'll be there. What is that? July 29th. A couple Saturdays.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Super fun. If you are there, please find us.
Yeah.
Please hit us up. We'll be all over the place. We'll have T-shirts on with our logo on, stuff like that.
Doing some fan interviews.
We're gonna have a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
a lot of
We're
fun
gonna
that
hopefully
day.
bring you a lot of content, and that
sure.
along those lines, please go follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and then of course the podcast. You can also listen on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcast.
Yep.
But we're gonna be bringing a lot of this. We're not just gonna stay at this table, boys.
No.
We're selling here the life of a super fan,
Yeah.
because that's who we are. We just love us some football. We love us some NFL football, and we're gonna go do the football
We
things.
can't wait for football to come back. We
Crazy that
miss
I can't
Dallas
wait.
Cowboys,
I can't
man.
wait.
It's
The
I
Dallas
can't-
Cowboys are the first camp that we're going to go to. It doesn't get more energetic than that.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. It's like their
gonna be
opening. It's like their opening ceremony thing
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like there's
That's
actually we were talking. There's no way we're actually gonna get into camp because it's first come first serve. The opening, the welcoming ceremony for the fan base. We'll probably be in the parking lot and around Cowboys camp talking to everyone. 'Cause
We don't live too far from Oxnard. I mean,
I'm not getting there at 4 a.m. or anything like that.
I don't care to get there before I am.
Not a chance.
Gotcha.
But we will be there. We'll have a ton of fun. And that's pretty much it for as far as the stuff here. I did have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
It was a topic before, and it got heated pretty quickly.
Oh,
Between you guys. Let me ask you this: what's today? July 19th when we're releasing this episode.
yeah,
Is it too early for Halloween?
definitely.
Do you know what the date today is? That's 3 months away.
You're getting. What do you need to do 3 months in advance of
No.
Halloween to be ready?
No, I don't. I'm on team. Why are we getting
I think
Halloween so
okay.
soon?
I think it is, but
it's too
Halloween.
soon.
It's so much fun. The build up, the anticipation. It's like Christmas. I mean, Christmas is one day, but really we celebrate Christmas for like a month and a half.
A month is appropriate.
Don't you ever
3
say
months-
Halloween is like Christmas again?
3 months is not
It's the
appropriate.
holiday season.
I'll punch you square in the
I'll
mouth.
lump the holiday season in together because people are just excited. Football's back. The days are shorter. It gets darker. a
But
lot of
3
time hanging out.
months.
What
People
do you need
love
to do?
Halloween.
I
It's not
agree.
even a day thing. It's you celebrate Halloween at nighttime. So you're not even like it's not a full. Christmas is a full day. Thanksgiving is a full day.
Name a better like party. That's not a Halloween party.
Christmas,
4th of July.
New Year's,
4th of July on a boat
absolutely.
with the boys.
I think if
Memorial Day,
I think if 4th of July, not Memorial Day.
National Hot Dog Day.
National Hot Dog. Isn't that
That's today.
That's today. National Hot Dog Day. Yeah.
Hot Dog, yep.
Yeah.
Wieners all around.
Yeah, gonna leave that one. No,
National Football Day, also National Football
Yeah,
Day.
Football Day. Yeah.
yeah. But 3 months is way too much. But people get really into Halloween.
Yeah,
I
I think you're crazy. I just heard you mention. I thought I gotta.
Well, you don't even like Halloween, so I really don't
can't
think.
stand
I
Halloween.
really don't think. Yeah. Then I really don't want to hear from you.
like
know-
Halloween though. I
That's
like
fair.
Halloween, but not for 3 months.
I never celebrate Halloween. Like I don't care. I don't care about Halloween. I don't care about Halloween parties. I don't care.
Wah, wah.
But then I got married and had kids, and now I got to dress up every year.
Now you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Now I hate it even more because now I'm forced to celebrate it.
Uh,
But I'll be wearing some stupid costume because my wife says I have to match the kids.
you're gonna be wearing one for this show too.
I probably will.
When it comes to Halloween,
and my wife will probably choose it.
as
that's
long as
why
you're
I hate
wearing one.
Halloween.
As long as you're wearing one,
I'll wear one.
That's all I
Yeah.
care about.
That's why I hate Halloween. I just thought that was interesting. We're mid-July. Like
No, I see some.
I still
Halloween
have
stores.
summer thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
thinking
just
fall
don't think.
thoughts yet.
I just don't think like the holiday season. It's really too. It's never too early to celebrate anything with the holiday season.
So why don't just start Thanksgiving celebrations right now then? See how crazy that sounds?
Let the man enjoy Halloween. It's fine.
No, I love
I'll tell you
Being
what.
a real buzzkill right now. I'm trying to get excited about like the holidays, like the most wonderful time of the year, and you're right here just sucking the joy out.
I'll tell you what. The day after Halloween, I'm breaking out my Christmas record collection.
There you go.
Bing Crosby was going
We're
to be
gonna
on
have some
early in the
up
morning.
on this wall.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have some nice ones on this wall for
Yeah.
you guys. So yeah, you know,
What was your costume last year?
take
for
your
Halloween?
bad.
Yeah. Who were you
vibes.
for Halloween last year?
I actually worked last year. on
Oh,
that
so
day.
you were a working man for Halloween.
I was a working man.
I was Top Gun because of the mustache. That's the only thing that was.
What was I for Halloween last year? I just know I didn't care.
Well, not Top Gun.
You were Joey.
I really got to change that attitude so my girls can enjoy the holiday. I understand that. It's not really about me anymore.
Do it for them.
But my little baby
my
girls,
nieces. Do it for my nieces.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to be into it. I could tell. But anyway, just wanted to talk about that real quick before we head out. Join us, of course, Friday for our last show of our first week. Very excited. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
I mentioned all the platforms you can follow us on. Very excited for training camp getting started. It's pretty loud. Training camp's getting started. Football's on the way.
Football, we missed you. Come
That
back,
Hall of
please.
Fame game's right around the corner, boys.
It's such bad to watch, but yeah, let's do it.
Can't wait to watch depth chart 4, 5, 6 guys up there.
We'll see you Friday.
Bye.
Later.